Hello and welcome, my friends. In February 1957, the body of a young boy was found wrapped in a patterned blanket in the woods off Susquehanna Road in the Fox Chase neighborhood of Philadelphia. The naked body was placed inside a cardboard box, which had once held a crib sold by the J.C. Penney Company. The boy's hair had been neatly cut, and his nails were naturally trimmed. There were signs of severe malnutrition, as well as surgical scars on his ankle and groin, and an L-shaped scar under his chin. The body was first discovered by a young man who was checking muskrat traps. Fearing that the police would confiscate his traps, he did not report what he found. A few days later, a college student saw a rabbit running through the bushes, stopped his car to check, and happened upon the body by chance. He was also hesitant to notify the police, but reported his discovery the following day. The police received the report and opened an investigation on February 26, 1957. The boy's fingerprints were taken, and the police were initially hopeful and confident that he would soon be identified. However, no one ever came forward with any helpful information. The case attracted significant media attention in Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Inquirer distributed 400,000 flyers with the boy's image throughout the area, hoping someone would recognize him. His image was also included in every gas bill in Philadelphia. The crime scene was searched repeatedly by 270 police academy recruits who found his blue flannel cap, a scarf, and a handkerchief. Yet none of these clues led anywhere. The police went further by photographing the boy fully dressed in a seated position, as he might have appeared in life, hoping the photos might yield some clue. Despite intermittent attention and controversy over the years, the boy's identity remained unknown. On March 21, 2016, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children released a facial reconstruction of the victim and added him to their database. Many assumptions and theories were proposed regarding the case. Although most were debunked or dismissed, two theories received considerable attention from both the police and the media and were widely investigated. One theory involved a foster home about 1.5 miles, around 2.5 kilometers, from where the body was found. In 1960, Remington Bristow, an employee of the medical examiner's office who pursued the case with determination until his death in 1993, consulted a psychic in New Jersey. After using an item related to the body, the psychic suggested that he search for a large house with a wooden railing and a children's playhouse nearby. Bristow eventually found a house matching that description. When he reached the house, Bristow discovered a cradle similar to those sold by J.C. Penney and blankets hanging on a laundry line that looked like the one covering the boy's body. Bristow suspected that the boy belonged to this household, which was run by a man named Arthur Niclotti. He lived there with his wife, Catherine, and her young daughter, Anna Maria. This family occasionally took in foster children, often orphans or abandoned children placed with volunteer families until a permanent home could be found. Bristow believed they had disposed of the boy's body to hide the fact that the wife had an illegitimate child. Despite these circumstantial pieces of evidence, the police could not establish any direct connection between the boy in the box and the foster family. In 1998, Lieutenant Tom Augustine of the Philadelphia Police, responsible for the investigation, along with members of the Vidic Society, a group of retired detectives and professionals, interviewed the foster father and mother, whom he had married. The interview suggested that the family was not involved in the murder, and the investigation was closed. A DNA test also revealed that the foster daughter was not the boy's biological mother. Another theory emerged in February 2002 from a woman identified only as M. The police found her story plausible, but her testimony was considered unreliable due to a history of mental illness. M claimed that her mother had bought the unknown boy, named Jonathan, from his parents in the summer of 1954. She alleged that her mother abused him physically and sexually for 2.5 years. One evening during dinner, The boy vomited after eating baked beans, which enraged her mother, who beat him severely, smashing his head on the floor until he lost consciousness. In an attempt to revive him, her mother bathed him, but he died in the process. This detail matched information known only to the police. The coroner had found remnants of baked beans in the boy's stomach, and his fingers were pruny from exposure to water. M claimed that her mother then cut his distinctive long hair, which the police had initially noted was cut unprofessionally, in an attempt to disguise his identity. M's mother then forced her to help dispose of the body. She also recounted that, as they were about to remove the body from the car, a passing man asked if they needed help, so M was instructed to stand in front of the car's license plate to block it from view. Her mother convinced the man that everything was fine, and he drove away. This account matched a 1957 witness report that the boy's body had been placed in an abandoned box at the parking site. Despite the plausibility of the theory, the police could not verify her story. Neighbors who visited M's home during that period denied ever seeing a young boy there, and her claims were ultimately dismissed. For decades, the boy was an unidentified murder victim. However, on November 30th, 2022, the Philadelphia Police Department announced that they had identified the boy using genetic testing and investigative genetic genealogy, and they plan to release an update the following week. Sources revealed that he was the son of a prominent family in Delaware County, Pennsylvania. Authorities stated that the new information would help continue the investigation to find suspects. On December 8, 2022, the boy's identity was publicly announced as 4-year-old Joseph Augustus Zarelli, born on January 13, 1953. Genealogists had uncovered his name more than a year earlier, in October 2021. On January 19, 2023, Zarelli's parents' names were reported. Investigators were finally able to identify him after his cousin uploaded DNA to a public database. Detectives then encouraged the cousin's mother, a Zarelli relative, to submit her DNA profile, which she did, leading investigators to identify the parents. A court order was then issued for the boy's birth certificate, revealing his name and parents' identities, later confirmed through DNA. The boy was buried in Potter's Field, which is the name given in the United States to burial grounds for unidentified persons. In 1998, his body was exhumed for DNA extraction. He was reburied in Ivy Hill Cemetery in Cedarbrook, Philadelphia, where a large public gathering and media coverage attended his reinterment. The gravestone bears the inscription "America's Unknown Child." Residents surrounded the grave with flowers and stuffed animals. The story ends, but questions remain. Why was he found in that place? To this day, this boy remains a mysterious memory, surrounded by questions without answers. Share your thoughts in the comments.